huge things for their confidence into the future tournaments. But we will, of course, say goodbye to Reflections. Thanks for hopping by and teeing us off. Doug, here we go. The match is right before our eyes.
I know, and I've been super freaking excited. This is the matchup that I've been waiting for since this thing came to fruition, really, since these teams agreed to play. When you've got the rosters that are on here, you expect that these two are going to be it, and Win starting it off with a bang. Takes care of Shinobi. Relics is able to trade it back out as Win drops, but this is the most highly anticipated series of the day.
Yeah, we already see the funnel in towards that A site, just down to 2 now for the side of GenG, and they will follow exactly in the coattails of Cloud9 through the ropes. A couple of pre-fire shots, player one thinking, hey, that ghost looks pretty nice right about now, but it's a firing squad from Cloud9 that'll deal with GenG quite handily. So the first round going over to Cloud9, and quite honestly, looking at this map ahead, you ask the question, some teams have this like very distinct player that'll stand out, and for example, when we look at a lineup like TSM versus Cloud9, it's obvious that it's the Tens and Wardell show, right? It's whose jet is better. In this scenario, I know that he's a great operator player. I know that he is also playing Jet in comparison to Tens' Jet, but I actually think it's the battle between Shinobi and GMD, the shot callers for the team, and the ability to make sure that everything gets done according to plan. GMD, a very young player, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, I thought GMD was playing the Phoenix. He usually is. God, these dang agent swaps are... Anyways, it'll be interesting to see how the calls are made and what strategic investment both teams really opt in for.
Oh, man, Relics was able to get an important kill there. The shotgun shells weren't connecting, but, well, the auxiliary work from Raze does, and that's enough to get the kill. A two-man advantage in favor of Cloud9. Shinobi gets another one. But unfortunately, GMD traded it back out as Tens drops a 4v2 here, still in favor of Cloud9. The spike is going to get onto the site. Mitch walls off ropes, gets a kill to boot. Watches Effie's once again as he's sitting there dead. Tragic story, but the spike has been planted. It's a 4v1. Player one, what the heck can you do here?
Yeah, unfortunate stuff, but that's the way she goes. You win, you lose the pistol rather, and then things really start to fall apart. But fortunately for the side of GenG, this is where things can really start to turn around for them. They'll have that gun round in the round to follow, and that means great things for the team, and how they end up using those weapons will kind of be the big question mark that we have. Of course, Cloud9, based on that interview from Reflections, Shinobi feels that Split at one point was a map that they were quite comfortable on, and this is a map that we're here right now. So, of course, Ascent off the table. What do you pick? You pick the next best thing, and that's going to be Split, of course. Now, moving on to the round, we'll see if Cloud9 are able to continue to feel comfortable on this map, or if GenG will really start to turn up some of that heat.
Man, we will see indeed. It looks like at least early on, the move is going to be a play onto B. And you know what? I like this. Simo, I know you and I haven't had a chance to talk about this, and it's been a few weeks now, but the changes in mid on this map, in my opinion, make this map favor the T side a little bit. And that's because you have so many options once you gain mid control. Mid is just easier to control there, in my opinion. So with that in mind, do you lean towards T on this map, or what are your thoughts?
The verdict has really reduced the defensive win rate for sure. But one thing that a lot of people forget when it comes to those statistics, like, excuse me, I almost choked on some saliva there. Holy smokes. I'm alive, though. I'm fine. When you look at a map like Ascent, statistically, it's defender-sided. Well, then why are T1 able to just dominate on the attacker side? It's playstyle. It's all chalked up to playstyle. So we can sit here and we can talk, oh, okay, yep, all right, look, it's defender-sided, blah, 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 but it's playstyle-oriented. So FeS is going to find two. They'll make their way on that B side, but it's already starting to really fall apart here. Ten's the last one standing. Quick shot out to player one will bode well, but it's 1 HP. You sneeze on Tens and he will fall. Unfortunately, not looking in the right direction. But yeah, it's playstyle-oriented, and for a team like Cloud9, they base a lot of their decisions off of we push in together. We're going to let Tens do his own thing, and hopefully the communication's clear enough, and let's see if we can end up with something. They did that there. Tens pushed in, and the rest of the team's like, we're going to follow you and hope that we can support you. But they couldn't, because there was a great firing squad from Gen.G, a great crossfire. For Gen.G, let's set up. Let's get clear comms. Let's get information. And if we can get some early picks, let's use those and try to pin. Anyways, point being is that win rate or not, it's all playstyle oriented.
Oh man, those paint shells, they certainly don't feel good. GMD is going to get tagged up a little bit. He's got that up on top of a ramp. Excellent spot when it comes to trying to pick up kills. Mikhail is able to take care of Relics on the entry as well. And for now, things look like they're going pretty nicely in favor of freaking A of Gen.G, and GMD seems to be feeling just fine after potentially being sick yesterday. Yeah, no traces of that here so far.
Just down to 10s now. Has the Blade Storm. Can't really make it worth his while, but... Oh, no! In the smoke! Oh, he will.
Wow.
Oh! You slice and you dice. But FEs will find that last frag. Operator in hand, too. That was expensive for Cloud9.
Yeah, but look, that play, what we just saw out of Tens there, is why people love him so much. Is why people talk about him as potentially being the best player in North America. You know, highly contested when it comes to he and Wardell and who might be best in North America. But that's Tens doing Tens things. That's Snap. That's why he's so good on the Jet. That's why he's so feared. And honestly, like, I do want to keep a close eye on this. I'm looking at stats from the Pulse Invitational. Every single member of Cloud9 went negative that series against Gen.G. You need slays. You need slays, and you look at Tens to be the one to do it.
Cloud9, of course, in the round at hand, not everyone has some weaponry that they can work with, but some do, and in the hands of Relics, you'll have a Phantom. And, you know, considering we're seeing the agent selection be a little wacky for both sides, I wonder if this is kind of like a little bit of an experimental opportunity for teams to play new things and try things out. Like, Shinobi's on Omen, for all things. We usually see him on the Sova, and he IGLs off of that. He gets those arrows in, he gets the intel, the Owldrome, they play off of that. Well, now you're playing off of a flash and a smoke, potentially. Can it work? We're going to find out. An early pick here from Mitch will take down Mikhail, and now they'll have control of this A site. Cloud9 off of around what felt a little bit broken in terms of economy. They're now looking quite good, and they'll get that spike planted.
GMD boosting his way. I love to see, when it comes to professional players, what they can do when you get kits in their hands. And that's just one of the cool things that we've seen there, and we've seen it more and more as the game has evolved, is things like using the blast pack from Raze to propel yourself past a point that might be tricky. Note that there are two ops in the hands of Gen.G right now. It was a Win and GMD both rocking them, and neither of them have connected. They're also both watching the exact same hallway. A bit interesting of an approach, but we'll see how it pans out. The spike is down. It doesn't look like they're going to get away in. Yeah, they're just getting out. They tried, they thought about it, kind of sniffed around a bit and decided they didn't like what they saw, and they got out. That's going to be a round going in favor of Cloud9.
And that's 3,000 credits that they desperately need. Mind you, sorry, 3,300 as they get that spike down and exploded. So good for them. We are seeing a shot there from GMD not really go his way, and so he'll have to escape out of there, and his life will survive. A round lead here for Cloud9 on the attack, and quite honestly, as we start to see these rounds really unfold before our eyes, if Cloud9 have this huge lead that they start to develop, you tell yourself, well, Split is supposed to be a defender-sided map. Well, maybe Cloud9's playstyle just really favors the attack. Maybe they just suck at defending on Split. Like, we don't know. The only way that we know is we'll see how the rounds obviously end up unfolding. But so far, Gen.G set up towards mid to gather information. Mid control, very important, but it's the aerial assault from Tens, and he will take out Hyun. And that's the Jet v Jet battle that we saw, but player one gets the mow down and takes out Tens.
That's going to leave things slightly in favor. Oh, no, excuse me, knotted up 4-4 as far as personnel goes, with 1:15 left on the clock. Relics. Oh, Effies! Effies gets 3 there. filthy shots, buttery smooth, taking care of Cloud9, and that's going to leave things in a terrible spot. If you're Vice, a 3v1, he's just now going through ropes. The spike is down, and he's not anywhere near it. There's a Phoenix waiting up at the top of the ropes. We'll see if he checks that angle. Yeah, he's going to check it, and he's not going to get the kill anyway. McKill getting the best of him as Vice goes down, and that's a round in favor of Gen.G.
You know, theoretically, if Gen.G just keep chipping away at these rounds and find themselves in a position to have a lead and extend that lead to a victory, that would be huge for them. They'd be going to a map that Cloud9 is theoretically not that comfortable with. And so now I'm starting to ask myself, if Gen.G are able to keep it this close, can they keep it this close on the attacker side? We'll have to wait and see once we get there. So far, Gen.G have been doing a great job. Round after round, Cloud9 take an inch, but Gen.G are also there right beside them. So execution on the round looks like a heavy stack towards the A side. The rest of Cloud9 gathering information across all possible gateways into other parts of the map. And we'll see Mitch pull off of that gateway towards B and now join the rest of his team in the middle.
You see the Jet on the side of Gen.G hovering mid. There he is. Win getting a pick with the op out onto Mitch and showing that, well, there's really nowhere to go on that side of the map. But again, the play is a play out onto A. Relix is going to pop the showstopper, tries to connect, doesn't land. The shot in heaven goes a little wide, but we're going to see GMD pop one of his own, boost his way all the way over, but the dash out keeps him alive, but you ain't going to stay alive long enough. The shots from GMD take care of tens. Vice, Shinobi, and Relix even it back out as Win drops along with the rest of Gen.G, and that's going to leave things in a 3v2 in favor of Cloud9. The spike is going to go down. This is a tough take if you're Gen.G.
Yeah, and quite honestly, the economy, if Cloud9 take this over, is going to start to really balloon into their favor. So early looks towards what Gen.G have in store. It's going to be the attempt, at least for a take. Player one ends up with the out frag onto Relix, and now heading down the ramp. The rest of the team, it's like a divide and conquer approach now for Gen.G. The camera going to be taken out. Paranoia trying to put Effys in an uncomfortable position, but Paranoia is not what he will be feeling. He'll be feeling confidence. They are now looking to push in. Spike is ticking. They still need to try to land this defuse, but it's player one that is in a position to get the defuse. Effys, what communication? How do you do that? Hey, Effys, I'm going to put the entire round in your hands. Deliver. I'm going to defuse the spike. What was that from Gen.G? Great looking and a great play.
And they had no business winning that round. They weren't set up. That retake was very difficult to execute well, and they managed to do it. And that's going to leave Cloud9 in a less than desirable money spot. You see a Ghost coming out, a couple of Sheriffs, and a Classic at full armor. This should, I've said this before, and I was proven wrong, but this should go in favor of Gen.G here.
It should. You're right. But, I'm surprised Tens doesn't rock the shorty on rounds like this. Just get up in their face, pop two in the dome, and you call it a day. Pick up a new weapon and upgrade. Player one going to be feeling a little paranoid. Was that the no-scope from Hyundai? Oh, baby. Keep him coming. That'll be another one onto Mitch. Yes, I get it. It's the eco. But I think that no-scope was a little impressive if it ended up being we caught it late in the transition to his perspective. Shinobi now having to fall back, a flawless round for Gen.G, and now they have this 2-round lead, a lot of credits in their pockets, and if you think they're going into the next round with the same weaponry that they had before, that economy is juicy. They've got stocks in all different portfolios. Their Tesla stock looks good. Their Apple stock looks good. They are okay when it comes to the economy. On the opposite side, it's the force up. If they lose this round, it's back to the pistol with Cloud9.
This is a high-risk, high-reward investment here for Cloud9. They saved once. You can't really afford to save again, especially when you're playing a team of Gen.G's caliber, so you got to try to make something happen. Ten spending his way all the way down to 0. We'll see if he picks something off, and then if you're Win, you're trying to match some of that as well. Mitch looking to see if he can pre-fire his way through the smoke and land a kill. But no intel gained, nothing really at all. The spike kind of hovering around mid, as it looks like both teams are going to fight for this area of the map. We mentioned about how the new opening on this evens things out. Tens is able to get one win with a rare miss here. but that should tell him everything he needs to know. The onslaught's going to be coming in through heaven. Win decides to go forward. He's going to have the blade storm. He's going to land the kill onto Shinobi. Mikhail gets one as well. He turns. Relics gets one onto player one. He's going to decide to push. Oh, the classic shot. How the heck did he do that?
Oh,
Wing gets cleaned up. Relics, you monster. These people have families.
Yeah, that was, man, those Jordans really coming in. Gave him some extra hops there. Jumping classics, I think, are probably the top 3 most impressive things about some Valorant players, what they're capable of doing. Having a look at Mikhail, it's down to him. I think it's like, what, 70 or so HP or 60 or so HP? Yep, 60 HP to 83. Just has the curveball, and quite honestly, that's pretty handy in this scenario. Unfortunately for Relics, it's just a paint shell. Actually, when he gets the spike down, it's going to be the showstopper. So that is scary. Spike going down. Now it's up to GMD. And we talked about how the young star for the side of GenG has been kind of leading the pack for his team. But Relics has his eyes set towards the screen and misses the timing. Now, for the side of GMD, he might see the barrel of the gun. But now here comes the swing. It's 51 HP down to Relics. And here's the showstopper. That's going to be bad news, as it'll be sent towards the box. Clean round here for Relics. Oh, gives him one dip of the English breakfast. And that's a teabag I don't want to see ever again. Good job, Relics. A round goes to Cloud9.
And look, man, Simo, you called that mess from the beginning. You called the showstopper and how that could prove to have a serious impact on things. And, well, you were absolutely right. That was exactly what he needed, even while blinded, to land that shot. That was filthy. He played that super well, and you know, there was just not a whole lot that could have been done there as we enter what's going to be the 10th round. Here are a couple blade storms. Looks like out of 10s. Win doesn't have his, but he does still have an op 10. Just kind of waiting a little bit passively here as the spike goes down. They're going to try see what they can find on A. Just narrowly missing that timing. And for now, they haven't really committed to anything. They can rotate out of A here if they want to.
Mikhail on the opposite side of what looks like Cloud9's interest in the A site. Got Judge Jetty in play. And Court is in session. Hyun misses a crucial shot onto Vice. And that might open things up here. That's the ultimate denied from Shinobi, but intel gathered. It's Mikhail who's on the site. Still waiting for information as to anyone pushing towards the A site, but they do back away. Seems like mid is now the new flavor in town. Relics sending a couple of utility pieces towards the ropes, but it's player one that has been there all along. Headshot onto Vice, and now as they come in from above, he may be in a great position. On the site, it's Tens, and he'll be dealt with handily. Now Effie's paranoia does work out quite well, but now has to deal with 3 members pushing forward. They do not want to deal with the smoke. The swing is good, and the spike is down. Doug, it's the 3v2 in favor of Cloud9 now. Oh, sorry, of GenG.
And I love what we just saw at Effie's there. Get the pick and then back out, because you see the spike. You don't need to play it aggressively. Relics, Shinobi, and Shinobi again. The 2-piece there to wrap up the round, taking care of Effie's and Mikhail on the way out. A big round needed for Cloud9, but that said, again, very well played by GenG. I love what I saw out of Effie's there.
You know, before Shinobi switched to a pro Valorant career, I feel like he may have been a sanitation engineer, because he just took out the trash. A great spray down on the B side. Really, it was down to the wire there, and I had a feeling that GenG were like, okay, it's a 3v2, showstopper is out, it's over. It's over. It's done with. But Cloud9, you can never count them out ever, and so great stuff coming out from them. Tied up 5-5. And they are looking for another round on the board. And it starts with a pick onto Hyun.
Yeah, Relics with some clean shots there to grab that first kill. And look at the spike. This is aggressive. Probably the most aggressive we've seen so far. Vice is able to get the a kill onto GMD. You heard the run it back. Goes out and Tens gets aggressive. You're going to run it right back to the next round as he gets cleaned up. And that's going to leave things in a 5v2 in favor of Cloud9. Player one, looking to see if he can even numbers up here with a kill of his own, but the spike is down on A. Here we saw the aggressive play, at least as far as getting onto the site goes, it paid off.
So that resurrection, unfortunately, was an eco-res. They just want the weapon to move on into the next round. And really, there's not many rounds left. And so now you're thinking, okay, now that we're moving into the last round, you don't have a res or a battle res in case things really start to get scary. You're chalking it up to Mitch having his resurrection in the round to follow. So that's going to be very scary. Relics, fortunately for him, I thought he had the swing there, but it was a great cross set up in the garage. They're not really going to have to deal with that any longer. Player one, he goes deep, and he'll see one on the opposite side. There's one more. It's Shinobi that'll take him down. And look at that. That res already wasted from the side of GenG.
Yeah, 3 quick kills there after the clock had run out to wrap up that round. And again, a good round for Cloud9. That's 3 rounds in a row, responding to 3 of GenG's own. And it's been a good performance out of Cloud9. Look, Simo, you and I talked about this at the beginning. Cloud9 chose split. Conventional wisdom tells us Cloud9 should win this map. But GenG has played this very well so far. And they've gotten it knotted up as close as we have here. It is worth mentioning GenG has not banned this map once all tournament, so it's not like they hate it, but they certainly don't like it. Win certainly does like that. He's going to land that shot onto Shinobi, and that's going to be 2 dead on the side of Cloud9. Relics I believe he got Roomba up on that wall there, yeah. And that's going to come through. It's going to be met with an unfortunate bullet from the operator. Mitch is going to res Shinobi, and we're going to be knotted, not quite knotted back up here, but it's still 5-4 in favor of GenG.
Yeah, it was a 3v5, so at least the res make things not so bad, but still have to deal with how much time they have left on the clock. It's 50 seconds, and it's ticking down quickly. They need to act, and for GMD, he's about to get a world of Cloud9 as they are making their way towards the A site. Don't know if they're going to play ramp or if they're just going to play the entryway. So far, Mikael going to be the first contact point. Likely going to see one. Now the hot hands come through, so they can't really walk through the fire, but it's a weird one. I don't think it covers the whole walkway, so he's going to try to use the wall here as well, and a lot of his healing tools are now unavailable. So the rest of Cloud9 making their way through the ropes, and that's going to be the ramp, that comes through. Mitch will find player one. FE's getting into the back of side, and I like this because he's here to support GMD. They'll make their way through, but he's been down below the whole time. 2 shots are clean, and Gen.G tie us up 6-6 to move on into the second half.
I am so pumped at how this match has gone so far, because if it's any indicator of what we have to come, there's still, I mean, the best is yet on the horizon. Knotted up 6-6 at half. Again, this was Cloud9's pick. They wanted this, and yeah, that means GenG got the preferred side early on. So there's, I think, if things continue this way, this is hard for Cloud9, right? Now they're going to get on D side. Now they're theoretically going to have the preferred side, at least what they would have preferred. So there's still a lot to be determined here, but man, Cloud9 and GenG, these guys going toe-to-toe like 2 heavyweight boxers, trading blows, and it doesn't look like either one is willing to back off quite yet.
So this is going to be the half that'll give us all the information that we need. This could be the opportunity for Cloud9 really to start cooking, and we're seeing that already kick off in the round at hand. Lots of frags going over to the way of Cloud9. Just great aiming all around. Of course, the pistol pretty much relies on that primarily more than anything else, and you're seeing GenG pull away. Already, GMD has gathered a lot of ground on this site. Unfortunately, trying to hop in. Shinobi will take him out and send him to the graveyard. This is going to be the half that is very important for GenG to show us that they can win. Split, statistically, a defender-sided map. Cloud9 kept it super close, 6-6, but it is, again, their map. And so if it is, quote-unquote, their map, they should be able to just shut out GenG and not let them bleed any rounds whatsoever. So we'll see what ends up being the case. Pistol likely going to go over unless that happens. 2 quick frags. Unfortunately, it's Relics waiting close to the right, and they'll see now the push forward. Shots are good down to player one, and it's Mitch, one of the last members standing, will take deal of that. So now the lead for Cloud9. Let's see how long it lasts.
Yeah, and again, you expect this next round to go in favor of Cloud9 as well. Once you win that pistol round, the economy for the losing team is in the pits, and it's tough to do anything with that. You expect to go pistols again, maybe a ghost if you're feeling a little froggy, but by and large, you kind of expect classic. So with that in mind, I am you expect Cloud9 to be up 8-6 at the end of this half, with GenG not having much to spend. And with that, it looks like they're going to do a pretty heavy stack on to B. There's one member left. The Omen is going to be watching for any flank potentially towards the back. But yeah, this is going to be a heavy push. And Vice, they're going to be walking right into his crosshairs. The wall goes up just in the nick of time, but they're going to be spotted anyway. Vice still the first one. The first point of engagement gets one. The spike has been dropped. Vice rotating away as Shinobi gets one as well. From the top ropes, he gets cleaned up as GMG lands the clean shots to take care of Shinobi. Win on the spike, and the paint shells just hurt too dang much. That's going to leave one member left on the side of GenG. They made it close. They made it interesting. Cloud9 manages to win the round with only 2. But it's still a win, 8-6 in favor of Cloud9.
So now we'll see GenG. They'll have their first gun round for the side of Cloud9. Economy, it's not great. This is where the rounds will really start to impact. If Cloud9 are able to shut out GenG here, I have a feeling that Cloud9 will just take it all the way home. You know, this will be the most impactful round for GenG, and one of their very few opportunities to keep that gap close. So right now there's a 2-round lead. They keep this close. It's 8-7. And Cloud9, their economy is in a difficult spot. So if Cloud9, if they push through, expect GenG to really struggle and maybe even take it all the way to match point for Cloud9.
Ends getting the opening frag onto Mikhail, looking for his second. But it looked like Vandal diff over Bulldog as player 1 gets the best of 10s. GMD's backing off, but the spike still safely non-committed to either site. For now, GenG playing this pretty slowly, playing this pretty methodically, waiting to see if they can potentially get any picks or any intel before they bust a move. But it looks like it's green time. It's time to go. But, of course, as I say that, they back right back off.
Yeah, that's the caster's curse. Oh, they're going to B, and then they all pull off and go to A. Still undecided, but sometimes you see teams like to play the time, make their opponents antsy. And you're seeing that from GenG, repositioning. Okay, let's send one of our players over towards the A site. Let's see if that's going to end up working out. They send Vice all the way to A, and a lot of that utility is unfortunately kind of gone. They only have Heaven really secured. Now they come in. That's going to be the angle here from Shinobi. Only gets the quick trade, so that's opening up here for GenG. They'll likely get that spike down, and Hyun's still going to be in trouble as GMD will quickly trade it out just down to the final 1 player. It's player 1, so to speak, and there's 2 up in Heaven. He needs to play this masterfully if he wants to keep things cooking. If he's able to get 1, Resurrection will come through, but as I say that, it's the dirt nap for him. Hopefully he brought a pillow. And Cloud9, like I said, they win the first, they win the second. If they win the third, it is not looking good for GenG.
Yeah, and that fat little cat there probably feeling exactly how GenG feels. Bit of a sad face, maybe a tongue hanging out due to the last couple of rounds. And you mentioned it, Simo. I think you called it absolutely right. This was an important round for GenG, and they weren't able to pull it off. Relics top fragging on the side of Cloud9. Effie's at 13-8. Certainly nothing to scoff at. If I went 13-8 in every single one of my games, I'd be happy for the rest of my life. But either way, it's just not been enough for GenG here on this second half. They had good against good. They had the guns, and they still weren't able to pull it off. We'll see how things go here as GMD decide. It looks like they still bought a little bit, right? GMD has a Phantom. I think I saw a Spectre as well. It's going to be a heavy push up mid. Shinobi doesn't realize the smoke is the only thing keeping them from him and 4 of the players. There's the paint shell. He's going to spot 1.
No.
Kenzie's able to get Mikhail, however. Shinobi didn't even get a chance at it. Now Shinobi gets a shot. He gets GMD. Player 1 trades it out. And that's going to be 2 Blade Storms, if I'm not mistaken. As Win pushes forward. Player 1's able to get GMD. And Win gets up close and personal. Only gets 1. Relics trades it out. Effie should be at the top of the ropes waiting. But he's not going to get a chance as Relics decides that he doesn't want the heat. He gets getting out.
They can still make it expensive for Cloud9. Despite the economy not really favoring GenG here, they can still make it a little bit more interesting as now FeS finds himself in a gun duel. GMD was just looking to upgrade. Tens is going to feel that one in the morning, but still there's 2 that remain for Cloud9. GMD finding himself a weapon upgrade, going to get that reload, and now set his sights towards the A site. So looking at what is possible here for Gen.G, 30 seconds left on the clock, and for the side of Cloud9, GMD could really take these individual 1v1s if he really wants to. So ult point going to go his way. He's really just getting everything this round. Likely the spike going to go down, and that's another ult point that he's going to get. Unfortunately, Cloud9, they smell this. Something's not right. There's not something happening. Something smells rotten in the state of Denmark, and Relix was the one that really put it out there. They're just waiting on the defuse. Not really sure what he was waiting for, but Cloud9, 10-6. And I think considering the force-up scenario for Gen.G, it could be 11-6 in a matter of rounds now. And that is not good news for Gen.G fans.
No, and this is starting to look like what we expected, right? With C9 picking this map, we talked about whether or not it would be, now that Cloud9 is on the side that they want, is it going to be a big difference? And so far, at least for the last 4 rounds, the answer to that question has been a resounding yes. 4 rounds in a row, a 10-6 lead here in the opening map of the grand finals, and a 19-9 performance out of Relix. These guys seem to have hit their stride here on the second half, and Gen.G hasn't been able to get very much going at all. They continue to spend. I don't know where they're getting this money, who's giving them loans, but it's got to be on a shaky ground here. Gen.G continues to try to get something going here. Relic sniffs it out. Yep, he's going to get flashed. Oh, but he looked the wrong way. Mikhail gets taken out. Player 1 drops as well, and it looks like as much as things change, they remain the same. Gen.G is in trouble.
How did he survive that? Everything was running against him there. Yeah, a headshot will be what seals the deal for sure. Down to Effie's and GMD. Going to try to make ends meet here, but those ends are quite far away apart. Effie's all the way back towards B main. Effie's, though, finds a great pick, which might open things up a little bit, but it's still the 2v3 that they have to deal with, and that spike is in hot water right now at this point. Ten's the guardian of the spike, and you definitely don't want to deal with Tens. So far, it seems like Gen.G are just taking the team approach. Now they make it a 2v2. Things get a little bit more interesting. 30 seconds left on the clock, and now they have to decide what are they going to do. Great intel from Effie's will gather. Okay, someone's there. So what do we do now? Ten's looking up towards the ramp. He gets smoked off. Here comes the push. He gets shot away as well, so won't land that shot. That'll be the 1-for-1. And so far, it'll be not the day for Gen.G to get that round. Cloud9 continue their domination on the second half. And now I slightly understand what it means by the defender side. Cloud9 really just not even giving Gen.G a chance. Effie's almost had that chance, but Tens was there to say, okay, you've had your fun.
Tens. It looks like, at least, it might be a mixed buy here for Gen.G. We see Effie's with the Guardian, which, shout out Guardian. I love that thing. It's going to drop down to 1,100 credits. Yeah, player 1's going to have a Bulldog. It looks like it's going to be a mixed buy here. Mikhail with the Sheriff. See if he's going to be able to arrest anyone here, as it looks like another stack onto B. It seems like when they go eco, they just throw everything and the kitchen sink at B and hope something sticks. But this one seems to be a bit more passive. They aren't going as aggressively as they were in the past.
Might just be the weapons that they have. GMD, the reason why he's leading is because he has a Sheriff. He can afford to die. Well, the rest of the team, they've got more weaponry. So now seeing Hyun, he does this every time. Tailwind's forward, tries to get an aggressive pick, but no one's going to really buy that information. Vice playing so close, and he's got a great camera there that they didn't expect. You saw GMD looking to it earlier, but now it'll finally get destroyed by Gen.G. Spike, of course, going down. Those credits will go in their way, but you can't really shoot through that box, and as a result, that'll be the escape artist that comes through. It's the Omen that backs away. 2 frags already so far for the defense. That's a blast back to the dome, and it's just not going to go the way of Gen.G. Match point for Cloud9. Doug, I think they might close it out here.
Yeah, I think so, and I think this is really indicative as to why we did not see split the last time these two teams played. And that's probably why the outcome was what it was. Cloud9 just showing extreme proficiency on this map. Relix is just fragging out like it's a pug here. 24, 9, and 4. He's just having a field day, can do whatever the heck he wants. And Gen.G just hasn't been able to get anything going on this map, and I don't mean that in like a loose sense. Quite literally, they haven't been able to get anything going. They've lost 6 rounds in a row. They seem utterly lost. I don't know how they even have money to buy guns at this point. It was a mixed buy last round, so this is really, I mean, you don't really have a choice here anyway. this is it. This is go time for Gen.G. We didn't expect them to win this map necessarily, but this is a very decisive win. Cloud9's flexing on them right now.
Okay. Mitch, you've got the op. On the opposite side is the Gen.G operator.
Oh boy.
Are you ready for the swing? The swing of your life. Oh. You gave him the shoulder and you committed to the shot. That's one thing that you don't want to do when you got the operator. Hyun, let's see if you can do a little better. Here comes the swing. Oh, Mitch redeems himself. Finds a good opening pick onto Hyun. And now, without the resurrection on the docket for the side of Gen.G, they may look to grab their tail between their legs and maybe back away here. The other two members from the side of Gen.G are maybe looking for some individual fights. We see one towards B. We see one towards A. GMD trying to escape. They're making it very confusing for Cloud9, but I wish we saw some of this earlier on this attacker side. That type of confusion could really throw Cloud9 for a loop. Shinobi gathers the intel, almost commits to that port into the garage, but still, it is just Gen.G biding time.
Oh, good wall there out of Mitch. You're going to force them to make a play, right? Either you come through the wall or you rotate away, and they're coming through the wall. Effys is able to get Shinobi McKill with the flash. Doesn't land anything quite yet. There's run it back, and it runs out as Vice takes care of GMD, down to 2 members on the side of Gen.G to keep this map alive. If they don't pull this off, it's going to be over, and it's going to be a 1-0 lead. McHale tries, but it's not enough. Mitch puts him under, and it's going to be a 1-0 series lead for Cloud9.
Reflections. We're going to bring you back in. Hopefully you've had some time to look from the sidelines, take some astute observations, and now you can tell us what those ended up being.
Man, astute observations. First half was fantastic. Second half was not. It went in 6-6 after the first half. I thought we were going to have a great game. I really did. But you know what? I will say that first half was fantastic for the side of Cloud9, obviously, right? Starting on offense on split, it's without question. It's hard. It's difficult to do. The best that you hope to go for is for it to be evened up. Obviously, it's 6-6, or even have a lead going into your defensive side, then you know you'll be in good hands. But still, though, I thought it would be a lot closer on that second half with how well both teams were playing, but I guess Cloud9 just had a little bit more up their sleeve. Gen.G just could not get anything started, and it is disappointing given the fact that, I was looking at Effys. He was playing so well on that first half, man, and it was really, I wrote that on my notes, Effys versus Relics, it was a very real thing, but in the second half, Effys slowed down where Relics sped up, 24-9, such a good performance from him.
Yeah, boy had a field day, and look, if you can go into half at this on T side, even at 7-5, I would argue that that's like, okay, you're good. You've set yourself up. To go in at 6-6 for Cloud9 is huge. And I think this was a testament to a few things. The primary one being, yeah, Cloud9, they like this map, but I think this only cements the conversations around what side is preferred on this map. The CT side is just